There has been a fire lit under silver in late trading to where it has broken yet another record. 3 cents shy of $62 an ounce is what we saw at the session high today, and it may creep back up there again in overnight trading. Let's discuss what's going on with silver, why it's happening, and when will it stop. Let's explore. That is the real question on everyone's mind. When will this bull run end? It's fairly split, although there are more that are bullish for silver than not, admittedly, and I am a little bit more bullish than I am not. I think we have room to climb up, although I still sort of believe we're going to see a period of stagnancy in the silver market where we may see a consolidation period and a pullback. This cannot go on forever. When will it stop? In fact, we did see for most of the trading session, the price stayed relatively stable and down a little bit. I'm going to get into what all of the metals are doing. That will help us give us a little bit of insight, maybe, or may raise more questions. But first, I want to remind you that Summit Metals is there, one of the great bullion dealers out there. Check out their selection and their great customer service and fast shipping for yourself in the link down in the description below where you can peruse their website. Now, gold prices really have not done a whole lot today. They are up slightly, over $4,200 an ounce after the Federal Reserve has announced another rate cut. It was an as-expected rate cut. Silver is higher and today, but mostly it was down earlier from the record high that we saw earlier in the trading day. And this is according to Kitco. The concluded Federal Reserve's Open Market Committee meeting saw the Fed lower the main U.S. interest rate from trading range 0.25% to 3.5% to 3.75% as fully expected. In other words, a quarter point cut. The FOMC statement said inflation will remain a bit sticky and that another rate cut may not come for a while. Traders now await a press conference from Fed Chair Jerome Powell. The FOMC statements and Powell's guidance on the trajectory of Fed monetary policy are what the marketplace will be very closely watching today. In fact, that press conference has happened, and Jerome Powell basically hinted at pretty much the same. In fact, they're speculating out of the minutes and the statement and the press conference that will be just one rate cut in 2026 and another one in 2027. Although that remains to be seen, as there is more room to do cuts, more than just a half point, which is what those would be in the next 2 years. And likely, probably, the markets are weighing that in, especially for silver. But there's got to be something else going on with silver in late trading. I'm going to get into that in a moment. But whoever Trump is going to nominate for the Federal Reserve is going to be somebody who will probably likely do more cuts than just one next year. That will be happening. A confirmation hearing will be occurring in the Senate, and then he'll be in there, whoever that is. There's some speculation of a name that's been thrown out there, but we don't know for sure. Trump is full of surprises and may surprise us with who he does nominate. But regardless, this is going to be very interesting to see how that plays out, and that could be one of the reasons why silver's price is shooting back up in late trading. Now, something else we got to look at too is the dollar index. And the dollar index is something that can play a big role in terms of moving the price from time to time. And it is down notably today. It is down now below 99. It's at 98.67 right now, a 0.56% increase, or decrease rather. That's a pretty big deal. That's a pretty big move, and that's having an effect, I think, in many ways with gold, but especially silver right now. So what are the markets doing now? What are the numbers for all the precious metals? Well, gold is up $19. That's less than a half a percentage point increase, 0.45 to $4,228.20. Moments before these markets close, I'm reporting these numbers to you. Silver, though, is up almost 2%. It's up 1.89% right now, up $1.15 to $61.86. It did get as high not too long ago in the trading session to $61.97. This, folks, is with volume decreasing steadily through the trading day. In fact, it's interesting because at around 1:45, 2 o'clock Eastern time, after some radical movements in the price around $60.60 level, up and down with fairly heavy volume, the volume started to decrease and the price just rocketed up like crazy. It is something else, with a steady decline in volume of trading. This is fascinating, which leaves me scratching my head as to what's going on here. There was a point around of 3:30 where it was the volume had tapered off and some selling had occurred, and then it shot right back up again, and then it kind of peaked at around almost 4 o'clock Eastern time here. And now we're seeing it kind of level off as the trading volume has really tapered off, and we're up, to the point where it's $61.80. But think about that for a moment, folks. Here we are in unprecedented, uncharted territory in terms of the nominal price measured in these dollars. And by the way, I always have to say nominal price because when adjusted for inflation, the next number, the closest number that we can really use to assess how fast silver is moving is 2011. The highs in 2011 and what happened there to cause those highs, record highs then, is more closely related to what's going on now than was the case back in 1980. So I don't even use 1980 as a metric because it was such a wild situation with the Hunt brothers cornering the silver market and other factors that we're not likely never going to see again. And because the silver market's much more complex and there's a lot more going on now. So 2011 is the measure. So what happened there? Well, silver price, when adjusted for inflation, silver's price would need to be about $74 an ounce to reach an all-time high when adjusted for inflation there. If we were to use 1980, it would be over $213. And so that's unrealistic, likely not going to happen, but it is possible we could see silver reach a record high when adjusted for inflation based off of 2011. So that's interesting. So, and another interesting and fascinating part of what's happening now is silver has rocketed past what it costs to buy a barrel of oil. That's right. With silver sitting at over $61.80 right now, a barrel of oil is up today, up 70 cents to $58.95. That's right. You can take a silver ounce and go in and buy yourself a barrel of oil if you so chose. That's in theory. I really can't do that, but nonetheless, it's fascinating to see that move. The yield on the benchmark 10-year U.S. Treasury note is now at 4.166, and so we're seeing that move. But what is causing this late trading surge in silver's price compared to all the other metals? Platinum and palladium, by the way, which in many ways kind of go more along with silver than gold, they're down sharply, well over 2% for each of those metals, which is kind of an interesting thing too. So that's what we're looking at here with silver and the price. And I'm telling you, silver moving up. It's crazy. These are getting pretty expensive now, although Summit Metals does have a sale on them. They've really scraped off much of the premium on these Salivate metal rounds. There's not as many left now, but if you want one, I don't know that they're going to be restocked anytime soon. In fact, I know they won't for quite a while. So once these run out, who knows when more are going to be gotten in. That's a 2-ounce thick round that kind of commemorates the channel and the community. So if you're interested in one of these, they're made by Intaglio Mint, which does an amazing job in craftsmanship, as you can see from the security feature on this piece. But nonetheless, it's really a representation of exactly what the channel is all about. The Salivation Nation, that's you, and how much I appreciate all of you. Hence the saying, multitude of gratitude, which is struck here on the reverse of this piece with the coat of arms and the 10-point star. And there it is. So those are still available. Now, the other thing we're watching, too, is gold, silver, platinum, and palladium, and what's going to be happening from here on out. Will silver's price continue to climb? Will gold's price continue to climb? It seems like there's not much stopping it at this point based off of these metrics and based off of digesting what the Fed chair said. But remember, anytime we see a radical movement up over the course of a day or two, we really should expect a pullback of some sort, even though it may just be temporary. We saw that in the past week or so. Silver price pulled back dramatically, and then it recovered just as quickly. That recovery is something that is notable as well, because as unexpected, we're in the midst of this bull run, and it seems like there's not a whole lot slowing it down, even after a time of consolidation. So that's what we're watching. We're going to keep an eye on it. It is interesting. I do say that even no matter where you buy your silver, if you choose to buy now at these all-time highs, there is a chance that the silver price could climb up even more. No matter though where, including from the channel sponsor, whenever you make a purchase of anything from anywhere in terms of precious metals, just expect the price to fall. I think if you go in it with that attitude, you're not going to be so disappointed. But remember, dollar cost averaging is key when you're a stacker. That's number one. Number two, you are holding wealth outside of the system. That's right. We're measuring our wealth in ounces, not so much in dollars at this point in time. And this is an exciting time to be a stacker. And if you've held silver and you bought it low and the price is high, you may feel vindicated. But I think, honestly, even if silver's price were to be cut in half tomorrow, one trading day, and it goes and cuts in half, and then that's where the bottom is, we should be happy. Why? Because silver is proving itself to be something that is going to preserve our wealth over the long course of time. And there's volatility in the markets, but half of 62 is 31. And it wasn't that long ago when we were at 31 and we were like, hey, we're above $30 an ounce now. Now, that's a very extreme example, but you get what I'm saying. I don't think we're going to get to $31 anytime soon, and it's highly doubtful that it's going to crash like that in one day. But nonetheless, we could see a pullback. It's just a possibility, folks. It's something that I've got to tell myself, and I would be irresponsible if I didn't tell you that silver's price could fall back substantially from here. And if it does, do not worry. Do not fret. Do not be concerned, because sometimes markets overreact. Some people feel this is an overreaction of the market. Other people feel this is where the natural market should be. We're still trying to assess that over the long course of time. We know that the disruption of supply chains are playing a role here, which is abnormal. And so sooner or later, that is going to come back together. It already is in some areas, in some ways. So all things to consider, but silver is an amazing metal. I'm glad I have it as part of my stack. How about you? Let me know in the comment section below. I hope you found this video informative, insightful, and educational. I'd like to extend a multitude of gratitude to each and every one of you for taking the time to watch, and encourage you to please rate, share, comment, and subscribe.